Captain Damari, are you on the line?
Yes, good morning. We're on the line. I'm also joined here by firefighter Trezise and firefighter Jackson that are going to be helping me out.
Okay, so before I hand it over to you, I just want to introduce you to everyone. Captain Damari has 20 years of experience with the Los Angeles Fire Department. He's currently stationed at Paramount Station or Station 31, and he has been there for 11 years, and he has 13 years experience as a paramedic. So he's going to just cover some of the I guess injuries that he has seen and witnessed in regards to the use of illegal fireworks, and then also maybe to some safe and sane ones. So sir, please start your presentation.
Okay, good morning, everybody. We're coming to you from our kitchen, just FYI, because that's where we get our best Wi-Fi here. So sorry about that. We don't do too many Zoom meetings here in the fire service, but yeah, we want to mention a few things. Again, we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about injuries. We're also going to talk about maybe touch up on the threat of what illegal fireworks can present to property, and be it homes or other type of structures like garages and fences and trees, and even brush fires. The brush fires don't necessarily apply here, but we'll try and focus on the injury part. Just an overview. We used to inspect the stands. The city would provide us with the locations of the fireworks stands, the safe and sane ones, of course, in the city, and we would go out and inspect it. Now our Fire Prevention Bureau through the Los Angeles County Fire Department has taken over that task. So before the 4th of July, I believe it's 2 weeks before or 3 weeks before, they start going around making sure that all the safety requirements. There's not only the actual fireworks, but the stands could be an issue, as it was presented in Ontario, I believe, and I think firefighter Jackson might mention it later on. In Ontario, there was an issue with a home that pretty much exploded due to storing of illegal fireworks. So our fire prevention office will go around and inspect all the stands. As far as injuries, between the safe and sane fireworks and the illegal ones, sometimes it's hard for us in the field to determine the difference. Being so close to, I know we have out of this station we cover unincorporated Compton areas, the Dominguez area, and I know there's obviously no safe. It's unincorporated LA County. There is no safe and sane program, so there might be a big influx of illegal fireworks that come over into the city or from other sources. I know a few years back there was a big bust at the sheriff's. I'm talking maybe like 7-8 years ago, that the sheriffs and our arson investigators busted a big occupancy, commercial occupancy here in the city of Paramount that was loaded up with illegal fireworks. So as far as responding to the calls of illegal fireworks, fireworks injuries in general, again, it's hard for us to determine in the field what exactly the cause of the injury is, but we have to assume, and all three of us have worked numerous 4th of Julys, that the major ones where digits and hands are blown up are coming from illegal fireworks. A lot of the injuries presented by the illegal fireworks are burns. Most of them are burns. I believe in 2000, I went out on our National Fire Protection Association website, and I pulled up a couple of numbers. In 2018, there was 9,100 firework related. This is both safe and sane and illegal. fireworks injuries. So 9,100 that were seen in emergency room. So I'm sure there was many others that were treated at home. Out of those, 44% were burns. Now, obviously, the safe and sane fireworks are obviously going to be regulated more. Again, the stands are going to be inspected. Once they're sold to the public, there's a strict guideline. Information, just like it's been presented, information is going to be handed out how to handle the fireworks, as opposed to the illegal contraband that comes in from different parts of the other country, and a lot from Mexico and China. I don't know what the exact statistics are on that, but those are the very dangerous. Those are, again, we don't know who, how, where, when they were actually put together. And that's probably the cause of many devastating injuries. With that said, before we go into some of the calls that we've been on, I'll pass it on. Ben, Firefighter Jackson, you ready? Can you cover a couple of things? Pass it on to Firefighter Jackson.
Yeah, so as Captain Damari mentioned, recently there was a fire in Ontario that killed 2 people and injured 3 others. And it was real recently. What I was reading said it was March 16th of this year specifically. And I think probably a lot of us saw that on the news. And in just researching for this conversation, it came up easily. And basically, it's tragic that 2 people lost their lives, 3 others were injured, and it could have been a lot worse. No firefighters were killed, but we've all been to, all of us have been to fires where we're trying to work on doing what we do to put out a building fire, and something explodes and we don't really know what's going on. It could be illegal fireworks, it could be something else, but it makes our job way more dangerous, and it makes it more dangerous for us to help the public, with what we're supposed to do. So that's specifically, those were illegal fireworks in that case, according to the sources that were what I was reading. It didn't say anything about legal fireworks in that case being, stockpiled in a home. Specifically, as far as legal fireworks are concerned, I'll go over a couple things really quick about using legal fireworks. It says safe and sane fireworks. Remember too, this is something that's provided by our department. But the point that I bring up is that if somebody's injured by a firework, a legal, safe and sane firework, there's a good chance that it wasn't being used correctly at that point. If just going off of the points that they give us to review here. So some of the safety instructions here: always read directions and use common sense. Have an adult present. Use them outdoors only, away from buildings, vehicles, dry grass, and other flammable objects. And that's a really important point, because whatever firework it is, if it starts a building on fire, or if it starts a bunch of grass that's near a building, then we can obviously have a large incident from that. Light one at a time, move away quickly, keep others at a safe distance, never point or throw fireworks at another person, never alter or take apart, do not give them to young children under any circumstances. Have a bucket of water handy for emergencies and for dousing misfired and spent fireworks, and never attempt to relight or fix malfunctioning fireworks. So it's I haven't been to too many incidents where I could honestly say that we know the difference between whether they were sold legally or illegally. But that's pretty much what I have for you as far as that's concerned.
Good morning, everyone. Firefighter Trezise. Just want to touch on some stuff that we see kind of in the time frame of when safe and sane fireworks are sold, and when illegal fireworks are starting to come more prevalent. Right around 4th of July is obviously when safe and sane stands go up and they're able to sell fireworks legally. And then also illegal fireworks start to come into play. Oftentimes we'll start going on calls a few days before 4th of July and then up to months after 4th of July in regards to fires, burns, and other firework injuries. Touching on the fires that will go on, oftentimes the use of fireworks, whether safe and sane, but more prevalent with the illegal fireworks, is it'll catch something on fire. And whether that's a home or grass or a tree, something does catch fire, and then it presents obvious danger to people and also structures. So what might be a simple tree fire can present itself as something very simple, but continue to burn and get into some homes and cause for more damage to happen. And that's something we'll see often. And then you throw in weather into the equation, and that makes it even more dangerous for us and property. Going back to the injuries, oftentimes during that time frame, whether it's right at 4th of July or, like I said, months after, we'll go on a lot of injuries where people lose hands, fingers. They'll have burns, whether first, second, third degree, which are very dangerous injuries to begin with. So oftentimes we'll go on these calls fairly often during the July months or the summer months after fireworks have been sold. So those are things that we are aware of and that present itself with illegal fireworks.
Okay, thank you, Firefighter Trezise and Firefighter Jackson. This is Captain Damari again back. Just to kind of wrap it up a little bit, I'll give you a couple of calls that I've gone on and that I can remember, but also I just took a peek, and I think it might have been mentioned in the introduction. 4th of July happens to be on a Sunday, so obviously the 3rd, this particular year in 2021. So on the 3rd, that's when the partying starts, and by partying, of course, it's a celebration of our independence years ago. And with that comes celebrations usually mean alcohol. And we're all very well much aware of once alcohol is introduced in any setting, our guard gets lowered by it. All of a sudden, a family gathering turns into, could be a nightmare when adults who are just having a good time and might have just, even if it's predominantly safe and sane fireworks, there might be some illegal fireworks, their guard is down because of either the alcohol or just carelessness. And all of a sudden kids get their hands on these illegal fireworks. And that's when, it can get real ugly. Young kids, they're just trying to they see the adults lighting even the safe and sane fireworks. They don't know the difference. They're not going to follow directions, stop and read. Maybe they've never seen such a powerful, really bombs. Sometimes some of these illegal fireworks can be considered bombs, and I'm sure the sheriff's department can manufacturers of the fireworks later on in the presentation will give the breakdowns of each firework and their capability to destroy things and damage things and hurt things. But anyways, family gatherings, again, alcohol playing a factor. And just remember out there that once it comes to those celebrations, be it the 3rd of July and the 4th of July, my experience has been once it started getting a little dark, when, the barbecues are been going on for a few hours and it's time to start celebrating, that's when the fireworks shows start. And by fireworks show, I mean not the actually sponsored by a city or a club with fire marshals there and the fire department, but these are like in the streets. That's when the action begins. And you have to remember that our resources are going to be very depleted. As soon as it starts getting dark, we're going to start getting calls for, again, fires, injuries, dozens of injuries throughout the city. And we're calling in extra units. Not only are we staffing extra units, we're calling in extra units into the city to back us up. And I'm sure the sheriff's department is the same. So yeah, you want to do the prevention that can be done, like it was mentioned before in the introduction, as far as the tipping line to turn in people that are using illegal fireworks. Once the sun goes down on the 3rd and the 4th, it's not going to happen. But the sheriffs can speak more about that. I can tell you on our side, as far as enforcing it, or we're just going to be bouncing around from call to call. if a citizen does come up somehow into some fireworks, they're not sure if they're legal or illegal. They can obviously, like it was mentioned, drop them off at the Paramount substation in town on Paramount in Somerset, and or they could drop them off here at the fire station. And what we would do is then turn them over to our partners in the sheriff's department for them to handle it. But if they're not, they want to go to the sheriff's station, they can always turn them in here at the fire station on Somerset and Garfield. And now just to wrap it up a little bit, as far as a couple of injuries, and one that stands out to me, it was going back a few years again. It was my first 4th of July. I just gotten on the fire department in June, and I came from an area where 4th of July was really, you go to maybe the beach and watch a show from the pier, or you just see the show from the high school. It wasn't, and I'm going to use it in quotation marks, is that's my personal view, the chaos that sometimes happens in cities where illegal fireworks are infiltrated by. So I was working in a city where there was quite a few illegal fireworks, and the sun went down, and we got called to an apartment complex where a young man couldn't have been more than 8. I was a paramedic at the time. We got called up to where I believe it was an M500. It was way bigger than an M80. Lit in his hand and literally blew his hand off. And being a brand new firefighter paramedic, it kind of like, I'm like, wow, this is for real. Not being a veteran, and to the veterans out there, thank you for your service, but not having seen a traumatic injury to that extent ever in my life. It, I don't want to say haunts me, but I remember it 28 years later, coming up on 28 years later. There's more of those type of calls every year. We're going to have 1 or 2 each unit. Here at the Station 31, we have the big ladder truck, we have a fire engine, a paramedic squad. We each get assigned different calls, so we each see different types of injuries. Obviously the ones that we're going to remember the most are the injuries to the young kids, the young people, because of their I don't want to say ignorance, but lack of knowledge of these dangerous bombs, possibly. But those are the ones that we're going to remember. And, you can only imagine. I don't want to go into details unless there's a question about it. But like, again, going to wrap it all up, like we've all 3 of us, firefighter Jackson, myself, and firefighter Trezise, so there's going to be burns, fingers being blown off, eye injuries. Some of them have actual shrapnel that comes out, penetrating injuries. So anyways, we got a few minutes left. If there's any questions, if we can navigate through this Zoom meeting, if there's any questions for us, we'll be more than happy to answer the questions. Or if there's something that we haven't covered that you would like covered, we will attempt to cover it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for all that information. I know that working with the city of Paramount for over 2 decades, we've unfortunately had our share of injuries here in our city. Thinking back some years ago on the actual 4th of July holiday, we did have a fatal incident involving a child, and it was basically, like you said, alcohol, fireworks, and just being irresponsible with the way we're celebrating our 4th of July. So thank you very much for all that information. I really appreciate it. And if we get any questions this is going to be posted on our city website. So if anybody has any questions, I will direct them towards you. So thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so that's it for us as far as the questions will be posted on, and we'll reply as they come through, or how does that work? Sorry.
Yes, I will forward them to you at a later date. And
okay.
Yes, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Okay, so we will have a guest speaker from the Sheriff's Department, but right now I would like to take some time to acknowledge our City Council that have joined us. We have our Mayor, Brenda Omas, on the line, and we have our Vice Mayor, Velma Quiller Stallings, and we also have our City Council member, Isabel Aguayo. At this time, I would like to see if our Mayor, Brenda Olmos, would like to say a few words. We will ask you to unmute yourself and go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, everybody. And thank you for tuning in to this Fireworks Education Summit. I really want to start by thanking all the speakers that joined us on this Saturday morning and for providing this great information and actually the true stories of the dangers of illegal fireworks that have actually happened in our community. I could tell you this will be a topic of conversation for some time, but my message really is as a community, we really need to come together to work to stop the use and the sale the sales of illegal fireworks in our community, in our city. But again, I don't want to take too much of your time. Again, it's just a quick thank you for joining us today. To the speakers, to the residents that are listening now and that ones that will be watching the video, please, again, reach out to us if you hear of the sale, if you hear them, I don't want to say, how can you explain in the sense of even lighting illegal fireworks, please reach out to us, give us a call. Adriana's going to be providing all that great information today. But again, thank you for joining and enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor Olmos. And I do see Vice Mayor Cuellar Starlings. If she would like to make a statement, I will go ahead and unmute you. Okay.
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
I would like to thank the speakers and our residents and my colleagues for tuning in, and thank you for all the information. It'll be very helpful to us and also very helpful to the community. And thank you again, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And then I'll go to Councilmember Aguayo. Would you like to say a couple of words?
Like my colleagues have said, thank you to all the speakers. It's crucial that we get this information out to our residents and to the residents that have taken, this time to be on, any questions, anything they may have. The only way for us to know what issues need to be addressed is if they let us know. Instead of trying to guess or, sometimes the easiest thing to do is to just go ahead and ask, so that if we don't know, we can, put something like this together and, we can all be informed together. So I hope everybody has a blessed day, and thank you, everyone.